Good morning, all of you. Okay, okay. In the last class, we have discussed about plasmolysis. Okay, plasmolysis, and today we'll discuss about imbibition. Okay, that is imbibition. Okay, what is mean by imbibition? Imbibition is a special type of diffusion when water is absorbed by solids or colloids, causing them to increase in volume. Okay, that is a imbibition is considered as a type of diffusion in which the water is absorbed by a solid substance or a colloidal substance, them to increase in volume. Okay, that means it causes a increase in the volume of that solid substance. The classical examples of imbibition are absorption of water by seeds and a dry wood. Okay, when you observe here, okay, how the seed germination will occur. Okay, how the seed germination will occur means we all know very well the seeds appear like a dry, but it also consists of certain moisture. Okay, the water content of the seeds is reduced by 10 to 15% than the plant. Because of that reduction in the water content, okay, the seed appears like a dry condition. Okay, and it is covered by a hard seed coat. Okay, and one thing you have to remember, when you place the the seeds in a moist soil, then only they undergo germination. If the soil is dry, the seed will not undergo germination. The reason is that, okay, when you observe here, the seeds will absorb water by a phenomenon called imbibition. Okay, as it appears like dry, that means when you observe the seed, okay, we all know very well the seed possesses an opening called as a seed pore. Okay, through this seed pore, the water will enter into the seed. As a result, what happens due to the absorption of water by the seed due to imbibition, the seed will swell. That means the structures, that is the cotyledons that are present inside, or the embryo that is present inside the seed will swell. Okay, because of this swelling, it causes the rupture of the outer hard seed coat. As a result, the embryo will emerges out in the form of a seedling. So that means the imbibition is playing a very important role in seed germination. That's what. Okay, absorption of water by seeds and a dry wood. Okay, this one you will experience very clearly. Okay, during rainy season. Okay, during rainy season. Okay, if the wood is not properly painted, if the wood is not properly painted, if any gaps are present, okay, in the wood, then what happens means this wood will absorb water from the moisture that is present in the atmosphere and causes a swelling of this wood. This is a part, okay, this is it as a result of imbibition. Okay, this is as a result of imbibition. That means the absorption of water that is present in the atmosphere by this wood will causes the swelling of the wood. As a result, we'll find it we'll find it a little bit difficult to close the windows or doors during rainy season if they are not properly varnished. Understand? This is because the wood will undergo imbibition during, okay, by absorbing the moisture. By absorbing the moisture, the wood will undergo imbibition. Okay, that is okay. So that's what, okay, we can see here. So water by, okay, absorption of water by seeds and dry wood and causes the swelling. Okay, the pressure that is produced by the swelling of the wood had been used by prehistoric man to split rocks and boulders. Okay, that means nowadays we have got a lot of machinery to cut the rocks or boulders. But in olden days, such a mechanized instruments are not there. So in olden days, what do means, okay, they used to make some hole in the rock and they will insert the wood into that hole and they pour some water. Okay, the water will be absorbed by the wood, causing imbibition of the wood, causes, okay, which results in swelling of the wood. Okay, it exists, okay, it will develop a lot, okay, this a lot of pressure due to imbibition. Okay, a lot of pressure is generated which helps in breaking the rock. Even a long, okay, big rocks can be, large rocks can be broken down by using this method. Okay, by using a wood and imbibition. So that is the prehistoric man used to split rocks and boulders by using the wood by causing imbibition. Okay, if it were not for the pressure due to imbibition, seedlings would not have been able to emerge out of the soil into the open. They probably would not have been able to establish. Okay, that means without imbibition, the seeds are unable to undergo germination. Okay, they can't emerge out of the seed and they develop into seedling. Okay, or they can't open the outer hard seed coat without imbibition. So the imbibition is very, very important phenomena that is helping the plants to establish or to propagate, because it is responsible for the germination of the, so that is okay, that is the importance of imbibition. So that is okay, and imbibition is also a type of diffusion, because here the water is moving from the region of higher water potential to the region of lower water potential, that is either wood or some other structure. Okay, that is so. Imbibition is also diffusion, since water movement is along a concentration gradient. The seeds and other such materials have almost no water, hence they absorb water easily. Okay, if you take a dry wood or if you take a seed, okay, the in we already said the water content of the seed is reduced by 10 to 15% than the normal plant. So automatically it is having lower water potential. And if you take a dry wood, it is okay, the dry wood doesn't have moisture or any water, so it is having less water potential. So the water can be easily absorbed by this wood. Okay, causing imbibition. Okay, so water potential gradient between the absorbent and the liquid imbibed is essential for imbibition. Okay, that means the structure, whatever we are using, that should have the lower water potential. So a water potential gradient should be there between the absorbent and the liquid that is imbibed, then only the water can be okay, then only the liquid can be easily absorbed by the absorbent or and causes inhibition. So water potential gradient between the absorbent and the liquid imbibed is essential for inhibition. In addition, for any substance to imbibe any liquid, affinity between the adsorbent and the liquid is also a prerequisite. Okay, the affinity should be there. That means the binding capacity of that liquid with the tough adsorbent is very, very important here. Then only they can bind very tightly and they can exert some pressure so that they can help in different ways. So water potential gradient between the absorbent and the liquid imbibed is essential for inhibition. In addition, for any substance to imbibe any liquid, okay, that means the what, okay, the potential, okay, the water potential gradient is very, very important, and along with that, the affinity of the, okay, the affinity between the adsorbent and the liquid imbibed should be there. Then only it can tightly bind with that of, okay, the absorbent molecule and the water molecule. Then only the okay, the inhibition pressure can be developed so that it helps in a, okay, swelling of that structure. So that's why we are okay, we are saying that inhibition is a type of diffusion. Inhibition is a type of diffusion. Okay. Anybody is having any doubt regarding the inhibition? Okay. And next, long distance transport of, okay, that means how the transport of water is done for a long, okay, for a plants which are very long in length. Okay. Okay, at some earlier stage, okay, that means in your earlier classes, okay, you might have carried out an experiment where you have placed a twig bearing white flowers in colored water and had watched it color turn. Okay, for example, okay, you can take, okay, you might have done in, okay, in your lower class some experiments. Okay, for example, you can take a twig of rose, white rose, okay, rose plant with a white, okay, with a rose flower. Okay, separate a small twig from the plant. Okay, prepare some color solution. Say, for example, you can take a potassium permanganate. Okay, potassium permanganate, okay, which is dissolved in water, which can be easily absorbed by the plants. Okay, now what we have to do means we have to place the twig with a rose color flower, okay, in that colored solution. Slowly the colored solution will be absorbed after 2 or 3 hours, we can observe there is a change in the color of the flower. Okay, there is a change in the color of that rose flower from white to pink color. Okay, and next, on examining the cut end of the twig after a few hours, we had noted the region through which the colored water moved. Okay, after 2 or 3 hours, we can observe there is a change in the color of the from white to pink color, from white to pink color. And next, if you observe the transverse section of that twig, when okay, if you take a thin slice of that twig and observe under the microscope, we can observe, okay, when you observe under the microscope, we can observe there are certain region in that section where we'll find some pinkly colored region, indicating that this is the region through which this colored solution is transported from the beaker to the upper parts of the twig. So that is, on examining the cut end of the twig after a few hours, we have noted that the region through which the colored water moved. So that means we can observe clearly there is some region which is colored. Okay, okay, it indicates that that is the region through which this colored water has been transported from the beaker to the upper part of the twig or to the flower. Okay, that experiment was okay. That experiment very easily demonstrate that the pathway of water movement is through the vascular bundles, more specifically the xylem. Okay, that is okay. That means where we will find the this colored region in the section of that twig means the region where the vascular bundles are present. Okay, the region where the vascular bundles are present, that region turns into colored region, indicating that that is the region where, okay, that is the region where transport of substances will occur. And especially, okay, we'll find the vascular bundle. There are two types of vascular tissues, that is xylem and phloem. And in that, okay, specifically we can observe the xylem region is colored, indicating that through, okay, that is the region, okay, through which the colored water has been transported from the beaker to the upper parts of the plant body. Now we have to go further and try and understand the mechanism of movement of water and other substances of a plant. That means now we'll discuss how this water and the substances that are dissolved in the water are getting transported from the lower part of the plant to the upper part of the plant body. Okay, okay, now, okay, that is, we'll discuss in detail how the long distance transport will occur. Okay, the long distance transport of substances within a plant cannot be by diffusion alone. Okay, diffusion also is there, but not alone. Okay, the long distance transport of any substance, it may be the water or molecule or any, okay, okay, the substances, the mineral salts, the mineral nutrients, or whatever it is. Okay, the long distance transport of all these substances which are transported within a plant cannot be done by diffusion alone. Why? Because diffusion is a slow process. Okay, diffusion through plants is a slow process. It account only for only, okay, it can account for only short distance movement of a molecule. That means the diffusion can aid in only a short distance transport of molecules. That means it helps in the transport of substances for a short distance only, because it is a very slow process. For example, the movement of a molecule across a typical plant cell about 50 micrometers takes place approximately 2.5 seconds. Okay, that means by diffusion process, okay, the diffusion through diffusion process, okay, the transport of molecule occurs at a rate of 2.5 seconds for 50 micrometers. Okay, for 50 micrometers, it will take around 2.5 seconds. Okay, at this rate, can you calculate how many years it will take for the movement of molecules over a distance of 1 meter within a plant by diffusion alone? Okay, for 50 micrometers, okay, it is taking 2.5 seconds. Okay, for 100 micrometers, it will take 5 seconds. Okay, and for 1 meter, that is around 10 to the power of minus 6 meters. Okay, it will take around okay, it will take some years for the transport of a molecule to a distance of 1 meter at this rate. That's okay, by diffusion process. That's why we are very clearly saying that the long distance transport of molecules in plants will not occur by diffusion alone. Okay, some other process is also involved along with the diffusion for the long distance transport of substances. Okay, because okay, there are some plants which are growing, okay, which are growing up to a 100 meters height. Okay, for that 100, okay, to that tip of that 100-meter length plant, also the water is transporting very fastly. That means from this what we came to evidence, that means that the diffusion alone is not involved in the transport of substance for a long distance. So in large and complex organisms, often substances have to be moved to long distance. Okay, in large and complex organisms, okay, the transport of substances has to be done for a very long distance. Sometimes the sites of production or absorption and the sites of storage are too far from each other. Okay, that is okay, that means here not only the substances from the roots to the upper parts of the plant body, some substances need to be transported from upper parts of the plant body to the lower part also, for suppose the food materials. Okay, we all know very well the food is synthesized in the leaves, but in most of the plants they are stored in the roots. So from that tip of the, okay, the leaves which are present at the tip of the plant, okay, they need to be transported to the region of the root which is present deep inside the soil. We all know why, because why they are storing in the roots means to protect from the grazing animals, and they also help in pollination. Okay, like this there are different reasons. Okay, they are storing in the roots. So for, okay, that is so sometimes the sites of production or absorption and sites of storage are too far from each other. So for that also they need to be transported. Okay, diffusion or active transport would not suffice. Okay, will not be sufficient. That's what it is meaning. So the diffusion or active transport is not sufficient for the transport of these substance for that long distance. Okay, for that long distance. Need some mechanism in the plants which will transport the substance to a long distance and also at a faster rate. So that's what he say. Okay, special long distance transport systems become necessary so as to move substance across long distance at a much faster rate. That's why, okay, there should be some mechanism that should be present in the plants, which not only involved in the long distance transport, but also transport the substance very faster. Okay, that is how it occurs means, okay, water and minerals and food are generally moved by a mass or bulk flow system. Okay, that's this long distance transport occurs by mass flow or bulk flow system. Okay, mass flow is the movement of substances in bulk or n mass from one point to another as a result of pressure difference between the 2 points. Okay, that is what is meant by this mass flow or bulk flow means. Okay, that is mass flow is the movement of substances in bulk. It may be the water or it may be the molecules that are dissolved in the water. All they are okay, all they are transported in large quantity, that is in bulk, from one point to another, as a result of pressure differences between the 2 points. Okay, this is all occurs because of the pressure difference between the 2 points. Okay, pressure difference between the 2 points. Okay, that is pressure potential. Okay, here the pressure means the pressure potential, because the difference in the pressure potential between the 2 points. Okay, so, and next, it is a characteristic of a mass flow. It is a characteristic of a mass flow that the substances, whether in solution or in suspension, are swept along at the same pace. So in mass flow, how the substances are transported means, okay, in mass flow, the substance, whether in a solution, suspension, okay, whether the molecules are dissolved completely or they are present as it is in the form of a suspension, or okay, as the water is moving at okay, at what pace the water is moving, with the same pace the molecules that are dissolved or suspended in that water will move along with that water with the same pace, that means with the same speed. Okay, that is what we can see here. Okay, that is a, so it is a characteristic of mass flow that substance, whether in solution, that is when they are, whether they are dissolved or they are present as it is in the form of a suspension, are swept along at the same pace. That means how, okay, at what speed the water is in the, with the same speed the molecules also move along with the water, as in a flowing river. Okay, if you place any substance in a flowing river, with the, how much speed the river is flowing, with the same speed the okay, the structure that we have placed in the river also moves. Okay, in the same manner, the substance which are dissolved or present in that water, it will also move in the mass flow or bulk flow. This is unlike diffusion, where different substances move independently depending upon their concentration gradient. Okay, it is completely different with that of diffusion. This mass flow or bulk flow is completely different from the diffusion. Why? Because in diffusion, the movement of the molecules depends upon the concentration of the individual molecules. For example, if you take a mixture of gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen, okay, the movement of this oxygen, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen depends upon the partial pressure of the individual gas. If oxygen is having higher concentration, it will move faster. If okay, carbon dioxide is having medium concentration, it will move slow, okay, little bit slow. If hydrogen concentration is very least, it will move very slowly. So here the movement of the molecule is taking place according to the concentration of that individual molecule in diffusion. But in case of mass flow or bulk flow, it is not like that. Any molecule with any concentration, all the molecules will move with the same pace, okay, in which they are dissolved or in which they are present. How that okay, how whatever the molecule that is carrying, okay, whatever the substance that is carrying those molecules, with how much speed that a solvent is moving, with the same speed, all the different molecules with the different concentrations will move with the same speed only, or with the same space only. That is what we can see here. Okay, this is unlike diffusion where different substances move independently depending upon their concentration gradient. That is the meaning of that sentence. And the bulk flow can be achieved either through a positive hydrostatic pressure gradient or a negative hydrostatic pressure gradient. Suction through a straw or a garden hose. Okay, that is when you observe. Okay, that means by using certain motor, okay, we'll lift the water and we will place it in the tank. Already some hydrostatic pressure will be the water that is stored in the overhead tank. When you open the hose of a tap, with how much pressure the water is flowing, that means here the positive pressure is at the top and the negative pressure is there at the lower end. So the water is moving, okay, the water will flow down. And at the same time, okay, if okay, you can also develop certain negative hydrostatic pressure. Okay, we can also develop a certain negative hydrostatic pressure, which helps in drawing the water from lower to upper. The same that what we'll do in a pump, hand pump, or what we are doing by using the straw. By using straw, okay, while drinking the cool, okay, the okay, any cool drink, any soft drink, you are drinking any soft drink, what we'll do means in our mouth we'll develop certain negative hydrostatic pressure by using suction. As a result, the liquid that is present in the bottle will move into our mouth. The same phenomena we can also use here for drawing the water from lower end to the upper end. So by developing positive hydrostatic pressure or by developing a negative hydrostatic pressure, in both the ways we can able to okay, we can undergo this bulk flow or mass flow. Okay, and that one we'll discuss in detail in the next class.